Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I welcome you to all of my different videos on different topics. I hope that you guys are enjoying them, learning from them, growing from them. That's exactly the reason I'm putting this stuff out there. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs are a filter for everything that goes on around them. Recently, I think I posted on the YouTube community and on other channels as well that I live in Chiang Mai right now. I'm living or staying in Chiang Mai right now in Thailand. It's a city in the north. It's a tiny, beautiful, awesome city. I love being here. The energy here is amazing. I do a lot of healing work here. I do a lot of work and creative work in general. And so I just love being around here. But at the moment it is burning season, which means that they're burning the fields and which causes a lot of smoke to be present in the air. And because Chiang Mai is in a bowl-shaped, area, it's like in a valley, which means that all of that smoke just sits in the valley. It sits in Chiang Mai and it causes a lot of air pollution, a lot of pollutants in the air that are not good for us, right? And so obviously all the people on all the communities, all the Facebook groups for Chiang Mai, they're all talking about air filters. They're like, filters, I need an air filter. I need a mask. I need a filter. And so I bought a plant to filter out my room, natural filter. And then I've been using a mask, a anti-pollution mask. I put a picture of that out there as well. It looks pretty funky. It's actually really useful as well because I don't feel the effects of the pollution as much when I'm walking around because I walk around a lot. But from that, I really gathered, a filter. What does a filter do? A filter takes in all of the bad stuff and all of the bad germs, all the bacteria, all the pollutants, all the dark stuff will attach to the filter. Now, my filter in my mask is obviously white. Most of the filters are white. You can see it. It's really bright white, basically like my shirt. And so if any pollutant attaches to it, anything dark, any dark matter, it really shows up, on that white surface. And as soon as it attaches to it, it just clings on to that dark material and then lets out pure air. So when I have a filter on, I don't actually feel the negativity of the atmosphere. I don't feel the pollutants. I just get the positive ions, positive, pure, clean air. And that's exactly the same thing what INFJs do. We are, and empaths in general, I think, are filters. We're filters in general. What we do is we take in the negativity of the atmosphere around us, and it attaches to our heart. Now, you might imagine that there's different particles in the air around you. There's so much stuff going on around you. There's the ancestral stuff. So you don't even know some of the shit that your ancestors went through, and you're storing that in your heart. And then there's stuff in the atmosphere, people that were killed, people that were murdered perhaps, or people that died because of an illness, animals that have been killed, trees that have died, all this stuff going on around the world that's in the atmosphere, slavery, sex slavery, child slavery, labor disputes, environments being destroyed, government disputes, political things that are going on. There's so much stuff in the atmosphere, right? There's so much stuff everywhere you go as a human being. You're encountering all of this negativity, but also positivity, but also just general shit, I guess I want to call it. Just general stuff that is going to attach to us because we're an empath. So an INFJ is a filter. Empaths are a filter. Like an air filter, I guess we are just attaching, our things just attach onto us. And we'll just take that in, we'll take in all the negativity, and then we'll let in all the positivity out, right? So we're basically, I think of myself as a rainbow or as a positive being in general, where if a person comes to me and they're crying or they're negative in a certain way or whatever it might be, they're spewing out something that's not really very positive, what I'll do is I'll take that in and it'll attach to me and I'll filter it and I'll just let out positivity, and hopefully that person will feel better and then we will feel worse. A lot of times though, I'm used to this kind of scenario, and you guys are probably used to it as well, so I know how to filter out the negativity from within me as well. And there's a lot of different techniques to do that, a lot of self-care routines, yoga, meditation, going for a walk, running, exercise, breathing exercises, just taking a bath, getting a massage. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of filter out that negativity and get rid of it. But that's what INFJs do in general. That's one of the reasons why, as an empath, as an INFJ, it's really difficult sometimes to live in the world. And that's the reason why we spend a lot of time inside, in our rooms, in our caves, where we know what the energy is like. I've already done a video on this before, where I don't like inviting people into my room, into my cave, because I know what the energy is like here. I know exactly what it is because I have set it up in exactly the same way that I want it to be. I have put out my energy as tendrils, you know, like tendrils out into the space, and my energy occupies the space. It's like a heavy kind of energy. It's my energy. No other energies are allowed in here, and this is me. This is my space, and so therefore I don't want other people coming in and contaminating this space. But that's the reason why when I go outside, I'm really careful of protecting my heart and protecting my energy, because I know that there's a lot of negative energy out there. There's a lot of stuff out there, good and bad, that's going to attach itself to us, and we'll filter it because that's what we do. It's an automatic process almost for me. Unless I'm really closing off my heart, which I do very rarely. I do it sometimes when I know there's a really narcissistic or person around me, or really crazy energy ramper, or someone that's really dangerous in a certain way, and I feel uncomfortable sharing myself with them. If there's a situation like that, I'll close myself off, and I'll close my heart physically and mentally. But mostly, I walk around with my heart open, and I know that stuff is going to come in, it's going to attach itself to me, I'm going to filter it, I'm going to let it go, and the people around me are going to feel good. That's the reason, again, why people love being around INFJs. It makes them feel positive and happy and energetic. But the reason why we sometimes feel depressed and sad and cranky after being around people, because we have taken on all of their shit, all of their stuff. Now, a lot of people are not doing this deliberately. Really, they're not. And that's one of the things I've learned, is that they're not doing it intentionally. They're not trying to bring you down. They're not trying to push you down. They're not pushing shit on you because they know that you can take it. They're not doing it deliberately. They know that you're a strong person, yes. But they also don't know a lot of times that you're an empath. You know, they might not know that this is what you do as an empath. They might not know that you're a filter. You know, they're just putting shit out there because that's what people do. People complain, people vent, people are always talking about the bad things that are happening to them, not always the good things, right? What's the fun talking about the good things that are happening to you? Most people want to complain. They want to bitch about their lives. They want to tell you all the horrible things that are going on with them, right? And so they do that because that's what people do. People vent, people complain, and they do that without realizing that what you are doing as an INFJ automatically almost, is that you're taking on all of their negativity, and then you're going to send back positivity to them. They feel better, you feel worse. Now, of course, as I said, you will have learned over a long period of time, you know, you're an INFJ, you know what it's all about. And so maybe perhaps now you can either close yourself off, or you can take in the negativity and then take care of yourself and not feel as bad, or take in the negativity and not let it affect you as much. You know, just because we are taking in negativity into our heart doesn't mean that we have to let it make us depressed or sad, right? Yes, there are terrible things going on in the world, but there are also good things going on in the world. And so that's my thing with everything that I take in. Yes, you're having a really terrible day, but what about the good things going on in your life? You know, I've always tried to turn it around. I will let them vent, I'll let them complain for a little bit, only for a little bit. And then I'll always try to pull it back to the positive stuff, because no one on this planet, no matter how much shitty stuff is going on to them, has only shitty stuff in their life. There's always something good in their life, someone that loves them, someone that takes care of them, someone that thinks of them, something, you know, good clean air, clean drinking water, a good internet connection, whatever it might be. There's always good stuff you can find, and I will always try, if I'm in front of a person who's complaining to me and venting and being bitchy, is I'll listen to them for a little bit, and then I'll always try to turn the conversation around to something good. What's good that's going on in your life right now? Tell me, I want to know. And that's the way we switch the atmosphere around. You know, we can change that. Just because we're an empath, just because we can take it, just because we're strong, doesn't mean that we should. Doesn't absolutely mean that we should. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm a strong warrior and I can take all your shit, so I'm just going to take it and take it and take it and give me more. No. Because what happens to us is that we go home and we have to spend all of our time getting rid of all of that shit that is attached to us, right? All of the filter has to be cleaned out. You can't just use the same filter over and over again. Once black stuff is attached to it, the filter has to be either thrown out or cleaned out, right? That's why an aircon, it has a filter as well. And every few months you have to clean that filter out. The same thing with my mask. The filter, I can't clean it out, so I throw it out and I replace it with a new filter. Now we can't replace our heart. It doesn't have a filter like that. So what we do is we clean it out. We kind of go through it, we rummage through it, we journal about it, we meditate, we think about it, we ruminate, we self-reflect, we take care of ourselves, and eventually, after a few hours, perhaps a few days, depending on how intense the material was, it'll dissipate. And then we can go out in the world again, and again, more shit attaches to us, and then we go off and we remove it, and we filter it out for the person, we make them feel better, and the process continues. As soon as you realize that this is the process, you can make changes to it. You don't always, as I said, you don't always have to take their shit. You can be like, I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood today for all this. Or you can be like, well, I'm sorry you're going through a hard time, but I'm really busy and I don't have time to talk about this. You can say no to these people who are putting shit in your face or into your heart. You can be like, no, I'm sorry, this is not the right time for me, or I'm not ready for it, or I don't have the energy for it, or I don't want to do this today. And then they can go on to someone else. They can bitch to someone else who's actually interested or actually capable of taking that shit, I hope this makes sense. I hope that you guys realize that it's not, even though as an empath, as a filter, we're pretty much automatically going to do this, it doesn't necessarily have to be automatically. We can make it a conscious process again. We can be aware of what we're doing and change it in a way where we're not just taking everyone's stuff. We can actually be like, no, I'm sorry, not today. Today I'm not in the mood. Today I'm taking care of myself. I'm ready to just be on my own. I don't want to take everyone else's stuff. I just want to be clean and clear. My filter has been cleaned and I just want to go off with that clarity. I don't want everyone else's shit in me. Thank you, but no thanks, kind of thing, right? I know it's hard. I know it'll be difficult the first time you guys say it or do it because perhaps you're not used to it, but it will be really good for you to do it because it's going to be helpful for your heart, for your head, for your general sense of the world. You'll feel less attacked. You'll feel less persecuted. You'll feel better about going into the world because you can say no to these negative energies. You won't have to hide in your cave so much. You'll feel more safe and secure going out in the world because you know that you can be like, no, I'm sorry, and you can stop the negative influx and just stay in your own positive self or whatever your self might be. Again, if you guys have any questions about this or how to do this or how I do it or any other clarification questions, let me know. I'm always looking to answer your questions. I hope I've made myself clear, but of course, in my INFJ self way, I think I kind of blabber on a little bit too much. So again, I'm obviously happy to clarify anything. And if you guys have any questions about anything else, please message me. All of my contact information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys next time around. Bye for now.